Oh, okay. Okay, so I just started recording.
Thank you.
So
We were
I
talking
did
about,
put it on my regular personal meeting ID. So this is
okay,
my meeting ID that you can just go on every time. I don't have to send you a link every time. So we
okay,
can use this as the permanent meeting ID and
okay,
password.
fantastic.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes.
All right.
So we were talking about the inner HTML is linking to that
Mm-hmm.
specific,
It's not
you
yet.
said category.
So the
What
category,
we want to
that's
do,
the
yeah.
lining, collar, midsole, bottom sole, all those parts of the shoe. So now we're going to link that because it has the same name, or it should have the same name as the um, kicks object.
Okay.
All right. And so we're going to basically access,
Yes, it will. Yes. Okay.
okay, we're going to access the kicks and adjust when the color is picked. So we're going to adjust the kicks object based
o-
on the color selection.
Okay.
All right. So the current color or the current category is going to dictate what color is going to be placed, or um, which key is going to be accessed to change the color.
Okay.
Okay. So we know that the category dot inner HTML is changed based on what is clicked. So that becomes our active um, section or active category. We store that in text. So we have a var text. Do you see that?
Right. I see a
So
let text.
I noticed you put um I noticed you put the lining, the collar, lowercase. But let's go ahead and match those up with the um,
Okay. With the, you talk about the text.
yes, the text should match the ID or the key of the object, of the kicks object. All right, so
Okay.
if there's an underscore or anything like that, we're going to go ahead and do that. So what I
Okay.
want to do is do a console.log in there to make sure that we are accessing the value of kicks. So now we're going to say kicks. No, not lining. We're going to do kicks of text. So we want to make sure that lining, so we're going to do open bracket to access kicks, heart, square bracket.
Got it. Where are you?
Okay. And then we're going to put text. All right. So right now, text is not in the same format as our key. So it needs to match the key. So if you go
Remind
up
me
to
where
the
the
key,
remind me where the key is.
okay, lines 4 through 17.
Okay.
Those are
Okay.
the key value pairs,
Okay.
right? So those names to those keys need to match the text.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Understood.
So does
Okay.
that make sense? Okay. Put a semicolon at the end of line 33, and let's go ahead and just run that and click on the lining to test it. We want to make sure that we are getting. Okay.
Oh,
Look at the
you mean
console.
in here? Okay. Yes.
Yeah. We want to look
Wait.
at the
Yeah.
console.
Yeah.
Okay. So undefined. So the reason why it's undefined is
Because
because,
it can't find it.
yeah, you have
Mm.
to change the line 31 to say capital L. Right.
Can you remind me why we put let instead of a variable var?
It's the local to that.
It's local. That's right.
Yeah, it's a local
I had that in
variable.
my notes.
Yeah,
I
so
had,
it doesn't have to be permanent or global. It's just local to that function. So it's temporary, it's not gonna carry over into any other slave. That function.
function. Thank you.
Okay, now if we need it to be global, we could change it to var, but or access a global variable. But really, right now we don't need it to be.
Okay. Zero, and that's
Okay,
what that is.
that's 0. That's
Yeah.
the value, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right, so what we're gonna do, instead of 000, we're gonna change it to our hex code, since we
Okay.
know that that's
So
let's
so
just change the hex
okay.
code value for black, since we
Okay.
know that
So
that's
here
gonna be our default.
so here's what I was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so if you see this, right? And you know that you're not going to want these. If you want these, then you can just tell me, right? This color. I was thinking if it's black, I don't think the user, it'll be as clear for the user. And I'll show you what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So maybe if I show you this, definitely the lining gets lost and the bottom sole, not the midsole, but the bottom sole. So let me put it side by side.
Yeah, I
And
mean, I understand perfectly.
okay,
We
good.
can
Okay,
set
good.
whatever defaults you want. I
Okay.
was just saying black to
Yeah, no, okay.
make it, but if you wanted
To
to
make it
look
easy.
better and to define the sections a little bit more clear, you
Yeah,
can,
so people
certainly.
can be like, this is the area I want. Maybe they can't see the other areas, but okay,
Right. Yeah,
that's cool.
definitely. Yeah, we can make it whatever hex code you want. But I was just saying we should change it to hex code, and then by that we don't need the parentheses.
Okay,
We'll probably want to make it quote. Um, okay. All
sure.
right. So right now that doesn't affect the current color. We're just setting up the default, so then when someone selects it, then that does change to the value of the color selection. All right, so let's see. If you want to change your defaults, we can go into the style and change those hex codes.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do that another time. I just wanted to bring that up while we were talking about it. That's all.
Okay.
I hope it's 4 zeros. I guess, yeah. Okay.
All right. So let's also change the text to match the keys.
I'm sorry.
Change the text in each of the
Okay. To
functions.
to map.
Yeah. So it should. So right now lining is perfect. But we need a
Okay.
capital C on line 38 for caller,
Got it. Okay.
and then we'll match line 44 with the midsole capital, and I believe there's an underscore capital S Just make sure it's
Yep, there is. You're right.
yeah. Just copy paste. That will probably alleviate any.
You better. Okay. It will be because that query selector, I don't think it's in order, but I'll get it though.
And then so just so we know that it's picking up that proper hex code, we'll do a console.log. Maybe change it from the standard 000 and make sure it's coming up.
Okay. Okay. Uh, um, yeah. Can you see what the penguin is outside? Thank you. Okay. First, yeah. It's a good week to do it. Okay, you wanted to do
Okay, I think that's
a
the last one. Now I want to make sure, did we create a variable for the color input? I believe we did, but let's just make sure we have a input
we have the color wheel.
wheel. Okay, so yes, so we have a wheel, and once the wheel is selected, I'm gonna take that category. Actually, now that we have text established, maybe if we make it a global variable, then we can access it through that category.enter.html. You see in that.
So we'll make
that,
the let variable a global to make it bar. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that
Okay.
we can remove all the lets. Just remove all those keyword lets, and then make a global variable for that. No, you don't have to put var. Just remove it totally, and then create a var outside.
Outside where?
It just okay at this time. Just kind of remove all the lets from all the functions, and then I'll explain further what I mean. You missed one on 89.
Thank you.
68.
Lining is the first.
Okay. All right. So now on line 28, we can create a global variable var text. And,
Dude, you are awesome. Okay, I know where you're going with it now. Yep.
Okay, so we good with that?
100%.
So by default, we can just say, we can put quote empty quotes. That's fine, and then semicolon at the end. So that just lets it know it's a string.
That's awesome, bro.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. And then pretty much nothing's changed. We just changing the scope of that variable. So now when we do go into
We just had this console because we were checking it when we first started.
we're checking kicks text. So if you want to click on the lining, you should see it show up in the console there. All right, so you see the hex value. All right, so that's perfect. That's exactly what we want.
Absolutely.
So now you know how to access the key value pairs.
Yes.
Right. You also know how to call that function full kicks to get the full spectrum of the kick or of kicks object. We did that before on yesterday. So so that's great. Now we're linking the object to the, now we want to change it, right? So let's go to the event listener for the color wheel. So when that is selected, we take the value of text.
Okay.
All right. So if you look on line 120, right now we have a console log of the category.innerHTML. Now we don't need that. We need text, right? We want kicks of text. I want you to do kicks of text.
Okay.
Let's do a console.log kicks of text. And let's just make sure it's a square bracket.
Oh, yes.
To access a key value pair, we use square brackets. We no longer need .innerHTML. Now we're going directly to the object. And so we say kicks of text. That's the current text or the current category, right? So we're going to say the current text and then the color that's selected. So let's go ahead and click on a location, select a color, and watch our console.
Okay.
Selected, line 20, something happens. Okay, you had an extra colon. Not line 1.
Oh yeah. I didn't add the bracket.
Okay. All right. And yeah. That's it. Okay, so let's click on an area. Okay, we got quarters, and let's select the color.
So it's talking to kicks, and it's also talking to the wheel separately, it seems like.
Yeah, for right now, yes. Let's choose the color.
Okay.
And those are two different things. Okay, now what happened? Now we don't want kicks, do we? We want to say what the key is. We want to show the key.
Okay. Give me a second. Okay.
So what's happening now, you're getting the value. So we can just say text. Instead of kicks of text, let's just say text because we want to show the actual key. But we know it's working, right?
100%.
Yeah. So we don't need the square brackets anymore. We just want text to show up. The current text is what's going to show up, and when we're going to select the color. So let's do that. Select color, quarters, that's the color.
Yeah.
All right, let's select another area. So click out of that, select another area.
Oh, look at
Okay,
that.
so now the heel is that, right?
So you know what? Talk to me about why, or again,
You
please.
clicked like 3 different colors.
Yeah,
That's
no,
the reason.
because before I just don't remember it saying quarters and heel. How did we do that?
We put text there.
We
We
put
put a
text, so that's what
placeholder.
the text is.
The text
Got
is
it.
the current
Right.
category.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
The current
And
category,
we
and this
use
is the
string
color value.
interpolation to dynamically change that
Right.
text.
And then why the curly brackets? What
The
does
curly
the curly
brackets
brackets do that, let's say
it is the symbol for the placeholder. So in string interpolation, the curly braces wrap around the variable that we want to replace in that string, in that spot in the string.
Right. It's similar. It's not similar to anything because here's the console. Never mind. I got you. Okay.
Okay. So the last color that's selected, that's the last color that's inside of that text.
That's awesome.
Okay. But that's great, but we still haven't changed the value inside of our
Little section, our category.
yeah, we haven't changed our object.
Our
We
object.
selected the color, but we haven't changed our object. So now we need to change our object. Okay? But the beautiful thing is we know wheel.value and we know the text. So instead of console.log, instead of showing this nice, pretty representation of what we did, now we're going to actually store that value in Kick.
Okay.
All right. So now we're going to say on line 120.
I'm just doing this because I would know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so now we're gonna go line 120. Instead of console.log, we could still do it for the very first time or whatever, no, but let's insert a line there. And we're gonna say kick hard bracket text equals wheel.value.
Almost. Right? I almost had it, but I was close.
All right. So essentially what we're saying, when input is made, we're going to change the value of kicks. So now we know what's inside of what is desired as the value for kicks, not just the default 0, 0, 0, 0.
Okay.
All right, we could put a semicolon at the end of that line.
Okay.
We'll double check, run it one more time. If you want, we can do a console.log, but this time, we can just say what is kicks of text. And that should show us, what the current value of kicks of text is. Okay. All right. Change the color of the heel. Boom. So it matches the same color you just selected. Awesome.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So we know that now kicks of text has that hex value stored in it.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Yes.
All right. That was successful. Awesome. Okay. Now what do we need to do? we need to basically keep on selecting colors or what have you, and um, then save. We need a save button.
So how do we actually here? Let me see before we answer the question. So how do we actually have that color change? I thought that was the input. So the heel would change to that color,
Mhm.
that head tone.
Yeah, we're gonna change it with the same way we did. I think we call the function.
Okay,
Okay.
okay,
So now
okay.
once we once we have changed the actual object, now we're gonna change the visual representation, the
Right.
picture. So we'll call that function inside of the uh, event listener for wheel.
Okay. In here, you mean, or
You
in?
agree? That's a good place. So like once the color is selected, then we want to change it for that
We want to,
category, right?
yeah, yeah. Yes. So what we need to do for each section then?
No,
No?
just
Okay,
in the
good.
wheel.
We
Just in
would
the
do
wheel. When the wheel, okay, you click in the area,
all
you
right.
change the wheel, that changes that area. If you want to change it back, you can change it back, however. But as you click on the area, that makes it the active text, right? Or the active
Yes,
category. And then when you change that color, it becomes that color. So the
it becomes
only
that
time you
color.
need to change it is when you change the wheel. That's when
Right.
the color gets changed. So let's go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Um, look, Lee already took out the console.log. We don't need it. We know it's working, right? Good. All right. So the next thing we want to do, like you said, is change the color. So we're gonna call. No, no, not there. On the next line after line 120, we need to call the appropriate
Okay.
um categories.
Um, give me a second. Did we call up here? We didn't call up here. We
All right,
called.
and guess what? We were gonna use
Uh,
string interpolation to call this
okay.
function. This is gonna be awesome because they haven't done this. Okay, we know that all of them have the same format: call, color, and then the lining, right? But the only thing is,
But we wouldn't do color because we wouldn't know what color
we
unless
are,
it's the
yeah,
wheel. The
yes,
wheel.
yes.
Uh,
The beautiful thing of it is now we're gonna change up our dot set attribute. We're gonna actually change our color function. Actually, we probably can consolidate it into just one function,
that'd be crazy. That'd be
wouldn't it?
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna simplify it today.
Okay.
And I think we can do it in the next 20 minutes.
Okay.
All we have to do is create a function that takes in the category.
Okay.
Okay, and
Okay.
that's going to tell us which value. Okay, so let's look at the set attribute. Every time we did a color change, what did we do? What did we need? It was the
Um,
same thing over and over again, but there's only like one or two differences. Our query
well, the
selector,
wheel value
huh?
um
If you go up,
takes in the
just
text
scroll up
is
to
different.
look at
Wheel
the
value.
example. Can you
Um,
like make it zoom in a little bit? Because I'm over here straining. Let me see here. All right. Are you able to zoom in a little bit for me? I think you're frozen. Can you hear me? Oh, okay. Okay,
yeah.
something happened. It froze up, and I think maybe it's my fault because I zoomed in.
No, yeah, no, no, not at all. It's me. I've been
Okay,
having trouble with I have two Wi-Fi connections, so the other
okay,
one is stronger. This one here.
okay.
Okay, so you were asking, what is it that we do one time? I was saying, I'm trying to, get at all this stuff, right? So we have a
Let's
full
look at
kit.
our function. The functions that we usually call to activate the color change, right?
Okay.
It's been the same over and over again, and we're gonna look at the similarities, and we're gonna generalize it and create a one size fits all function. That's gonna just change based on the object's
Yeah,
value.
the object section, right.
Yeah,
Okay, the
yeah.
object value.
All right, and we're
Um,
gonna do it in the wheel, but we need to look first at what we have to duplicate.
okay.
We're gonna call it in the wheel. I'm sorry, we're going to call it. No, we're not gonna
Oh,
create the function in the wheel. We're going to call it
call
from
it.
the
Okay.
wheel. Okay,
So
so we'll
yeah.
create it
So
outside the wheel, and it's going to basically mirror what we already have in place. Um,
so we would
So give me
maybe I would
just scroll. Well, actually, okay, line 130, for example. We
yeah.
have
So
call pink lining. All right.
mm-hmm,
No longer do we need pink, right? We don't need that.
mm-hmm.
We just want to know whatever the color is. The color is going to be inside the parentheses. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Inside the
Okay.
parentheses is the argument that we
Okay.
need to determine what color is going to be filled with. So that notice that all of them say fill, right? We're gonna fill that space up with a color. This time we're gonna put a hex code in there, the color code.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to call this function change fill. Can we do that? I think that would be a good one because we want to change the fill color, capital F, delete, delete that. Yeah. And then inside the parentheses, we're going to say color. So we're just going to give it the color that we want to fill it with.
Okay.
Okay. And let's open up the curly braces afterwards. And inside there, we're going to do the same document dot. Well, we don't have to put document dot get element by ID. I don't know if you like query selectors. I like query selectors because
I like that as
it's
well.
more versatile. You can use classes, you can use IDs, you can use regular tags, you can use any type of document element.
Okay.
So that's the reason why I like query selectors. Because if you wanted to change it to a class, you can change it to a class, and you don't have to change it from query selector. I mean, from get element by ID to get element by class name or get element
Right.
by, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yep.
so let's go ahead and do a document.query selector, open up the curly braces, and now we need to decide what's going to go in there. How do we decide what's going to go in there?
I would think whatever the value of the wheel, whatever the color of that.
Mm-mm.
Um,
Well,
no.
no, not the
So
color.
then, the
It's the
section.
section, right?
Okay.
So we need a section name. So how are we gonna get the section name?
Um, well, we can do it. Oh, so would it be a string? Would it be each sections? Or so one idea would be like I would say laces, lining, things like that. Or I can go up
Yeah,
here and see, I don't know if it's full kicks that has all of that, or kicks
it's
has all of it.
Kix. Kix
Okay,
has all the keys. So
right.
let's make sure that all the IDs match the keys.
Right.
Okay?
Okay.
Because we already have the keys,
Right.
right? Let's use them. So
Okay.
instead of these CL. I know you might be married to the CLS-97 is your year and everything, but let's just change them to
You
the
you
current.
messing with my years now. You messing with years.
But we want to make it clear, right, what we're
Absolutely.
doing and what we're
Absolutely.
changing up. So we're gonna change our HTML a little bit to match our keys.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
And so then we can in our function do a query selector for that key.
Okay.
So in the query selector, it should be open parentheses. I think you put a curly brace, so let's fix that.
Oh, after the query selector?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Right. I think somehow you kept the curly braces. All right. So delete that extra space. We're gonna put the key. So we're gonna say text, right? Because the text is the key.
Okay.
Do we need it in quotes? Let's see, you understand that on
Yes.
the. Do we need it in quotes?
variable?
No, we don't need the variable name in quotes
Okay.
because it is itself a string. Normally we
Okay.
put a string inside the query selector,
Right.
but what else did we need besides just that? What else do we need besides just the text? We know it's an ID. So what was the trigger to let query selector know what it is or what type of element it is?
The listener, you just said it. It was either the ID or the class.
Yeah. So what symbol do we use to indicate whether it's ID or a class?
Well, the pound sign.
That's
Was
hashtag, right? So what we're gonna do? Can't just do that.
Okay.
It's not gonna know what you're talking about. So
Right.
we're gonna need to do a string interpolation.
Oops.
Okay. I
Okay.
want to see if you can put a string interpolation that will allow the query selector to know what the correct string to put in is using the text. Is that too much, or should I just tell you? Or you
Well,
want?
I would think that if it's a string interpolation, that I would do something like this, where I put all of the sections.
But you only need one. You just need the active one.
So it'd be full kicks, right?
No.
Equals.
It's
You just
less
need the current
involved
one.
than that. It's just one category. It's the current category.
Okay. So
Okay.
there's something called current?
No, it's just text.
Oh.
Because text is the global variable, right?
Yeah, right. Okay.
Okay. So it's just whatever the text is the current category. And we
Wow.
want a string interpolation that allows us to put the hashtag and the text, and that's pretty much it. And that would indicate the proper query that we want to select.
Okay.
Am I making sense?
A little bit, yes.
A
In the
little bit.
beginning, yes. It's just getting it
So
slow.
on line 125, we're going to insert a string interpolation that combines the hashtag and the text.
Okay. A string interpolation. So
String is, yes. So we're gonna use it. I want to get you familiar with the string interpolation because it's a shortcut way of creating a string without having to do concatenation. Okay, you know the difference between concatenation and interpolation?
no.
Okay. I'm going to share my screen. with the on the whiteboard real quick.
Okay.
All right. So there's some text. Can you see it?
On the whiteboard.
Yeah.
On the whiteboard going back to
I'm sharing my screen. I'm showing the whiteboard.
okay, no, I don't see your screen.
All right. Change your view.
Okay. Stop mine. Okay, yes.
You see it now?
Yes.
Okay, it says it. Participants can now see your whiteboard, so that's good. All right, so string interpolation versus string concatenation. All right, so normally, I'm not gonna say normally, but in some cases, when you're trying to combine characters and variables, we use what's called string concatenation. For example, we have a text, right? That's a variable, right?
Yes.
And then we have a hashtag. That's a character. Together, we want to make this string that says hashtag and then our category, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we know that our category is held inside of text, right?
Yes.
So that's I'm just saying we want hashtag category. That's going to be our. Let me just give you a specific example. So we want to say hashtag lining.
Right.
Okay.
That's the idea of lining.
That's
Okay.
and we want this to be in our query selector. So we
Okay.
want to say document dot query selector. I don't know why it's looking odd to me. Okay.
And yep, I got you. I'm there with you.
You with me?
Yes.
Okay, so now we got this document query selector. That's what we want. But it might not be lining, it might be collar, it might be wings, or it might be something else. So we just want to put together the variable, the current text, with the hashtag. We want
Right.
that, and we want to do it with a string. Now, string concatenation would say, okay, we got this variable text and we got this hashtag. So what we could do is document dot query selector, basically the same thing. Okay. And then inside we can put the hashtag. And then we can say plus.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can say text. Okay. Oh my goodness, it's loud. Okay.
Okay.
And then that would create our hashtag lining if text equal to lining, right?
Right.
If we were on the lining category, if you clicked on the lining, then that would be decent, right? For concatenation. That's one way. String interpolation says I'm going to use the backticks and placeholders. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Like I showed you in the full kicks.
Mm-hmm.
So let me see if I can select this thing. Okay. All right. So now string interpolation. Let me move this over. Let's see what the color. Okay. So now we're talking about string interpolation, the same text variable, right? And the same hashtag and the same idea of a document dot query selector, right? This is what we want.
Okay.
Want to, for example, the hashtag lining. But what the
We just have a variable before the
all right.
document.
So now string interpolation says I'm going to do document dot query selector, And now I'm going to use backtick. I'm going to
Oh,
say
and then put the,
hashtag, and I'm going to say, okay, I got a placeholder variable, text, whatever that is, and then the backtick. That's the end of my that's
okay.
the end of my statement.
Yeah,
That's
no,
the
I
end of
wouldn't
my
have
string.
gotten
I'm
that.
sorry.
Okay. I wouldn't have gotten that. No.
Okay, so that's where I was trying to get at. String interpolation uses backticks, dollar sign, and curly braces to indicate a string that combines text or combines your characters
Mhm.
and your variables together
Okay.
in one string. Does that make sense now?
It does.
Okay,
Yes.
so with string concatenation, we use plus signs, and this forces us to make sure that every variable is of type string. So if it's not, say for instance, text was a number,
Hmm.
right? Say we had an input for a number. Now we have to parse that into a string. If
Okay.
it's an integer, we got to parse it. We got to change it, before we can even use the plus sign. So this alleviates the need to force those data types to exist together. Understand?
Yep.
Okay. All right, so that's what we want. This is this right here. String interpolation.
Okay. I I was wasn't getting there. I was
Okay.
well, I was almost getting there because
Mhm.
let's see.
All right. Yeah, a few minutes. We can get this going with a string interpolation.
Okay.
And
You wanna
let's finish this function. So I'm gonna stop sharing
okay.
and let you go ahead and share your screen.
So I was oops. I was almost there.
Okay.
I mean a little almost. Um so I started
Line
I started
125.
this here. Yeah, I started because I knew it was going to be a dollar sign and then curly brackets, but that's as far as I went.
Right, right, right.
In the
But
back
we
tick,
want
I
the
totally
text.
forgot the back tick. Yeah.
We want the text.
Okay. So within here, are we putting the back tick in the
Yes,
quote?
yes. Not inside quotes. Remember, I didn't put any quotes. It replaces the backticks replace the quote,
Okay.
and then the text is gonna go inside there inside the placeholder.
Okay. Document
So
dot.
move the text, move the variable text inside the backtick. And it needs to be wrapped around the dollar sign curly brace inside the backtick.
Got it. Oh,
Don't
okay.
forget the curly braces.
Would it be
Yes,
okay?
yes, right there, the closing curly brace. Now, not only do we need that text, we also need the dollar sign to show up in front, right? So go ahead and close the curly brace, and then in front of the dollar sign, we want that hashtag to show up. In
Hash.
front of the, no. In front of the dollar sign, before the variable, right, we want a dollar sign or the hashtag to show up in our
Not
string
not
before the
this.
dollar sign.
Before. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So at the beginning, when you put in the ID, so if it
Yeah,
was a class, right? If the lining stood for the class, if we created a class,
it
we
would
could just
be
put dot,
it
right?
would be a dot, right?
Right, right. It's whatever normally goes into the text format
Okay,
or normally goes into the format of the query selector for the element that we're talking about.
okay.
Okay. And with this, in this case, we're talking about an ID. So we need a
Right.
hashtag, right? It's going to be looking for that.
Right.
The query selector is going to be looking for a hashtag. So that needs to be a part of our string interpolation.
Okay.
All right. So text is the actual thing that we're going to change our all of our IDs to.
Okay.
We're going to change all our IDs, or we can create classes. It's up to you. If you feel you like you want, you're kind of married to the
No, no,
97 to
no,
99.
no, not at all. No, not at all.
Okay, so
Not at all. In the back,
let's just go ahead and close that out. Close. I'll delete the extra line, new line. Just delete.
delete this line.
Oh, wherever your cursor was, I was telling you to click delete. But that line 126, just bring the there you go. Keep the back tick. All right, one sec. There we go. All right, so we have our query selector, but what are we gonna do with it? What are we gonna do with it?
We're I'm fried right now to be so the
Once we select that area,
we want to keep it that same
we
color.
want to set the attribute to
Okay.
that fill color, right?
Yes.
So after the document.query selector and we get our current category that we want to change the color of, we do dot set attribute, right? Just look up at the previous ones that we
Got it.
did.
So just to let you know your time, we're just about out of time.
Okay.
I don't know if what other things you have going on.
Let's see. I don't have another one until 1. I don't have another meeting till 1.
I
So
can
it's
add
up to
another.
you if you
I can
want to
add another
continue.
hour.
Can
I can
you?
add another hour. Yes.
Okay, good. So we can keep going.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, because we really haven't reached a good stopping point.
Yeah.
So let's look at our previous. Doing a lot of scrolling. Don't scroll too far. Okay,
I
so any
know.
one of the call pink lining, call anything lining, or call anything caller, whatever. Go to one of those
Okay.
functions, so you can see what we're doing.
Okay. There it is.
Okay, so you see where it says document.get element by ID. We did a query selector instead, and
Yeah.
in parentheses we have the ID, right? So we have our little string interpolation. That's the replacement, right? And after that, we're gonna do dot set attribute,
Uh-huh.
and we're gonna put the word fill in quotes, comma. But
Do we do backticks again?
no, we don't need backticks this time. We just need the hex code, which is color. We're gonna pass in the hex code,
All right.
okay?
Okay.
With the color argument. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Yes.
So color is a dummy variable that lets us know, hey, we got a variable coming in. We got some input coming in to tell us what fill color we're going to use. And so
Okay.
when we call this function change fill, we're going to put in our wheel.value. Do you see that happening?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's about to be really great. Because we're going to close this function out. Okay. There you go. And go inside on line 121, and we're going to call change fill. So we're going to say
Yeah.
change fill with a capital F, and we're going to say wheel.value.
Does it equal wheel.value, or is this a space?
No, open parentheses. Whenever you're calling a function, you're just going to put the parameter.
Right.
Right? We're going to put the I'm sorry. When our parameter is color, our argument is wheel.value. Okay. So I
Okay.
said it wrong, but you said you did it right.
Okay.
Okay. So it is wheel.value. But when we put wheel.value in a function call, it is the argument. So the
Okay.
actual value is the argument. The dummy variable is the parameter. So that's different. It's a little nomenclature type of jargon that most
Yeah, that
people don't
argument, that's always messed with me. So,
So that's the difference between argument and parameter. The parameter is that placeholder variable, color, right?
right.
And then the actual value that's being put in, wheel.value, that's the
Yeah.
argument.
Okay.
When you actually use it, that's the argument.
When we use it. Okay.
The parameter is what we put in place
Okay.
to kind of design the function, right?
So would
Um,
this be an argument right here?
click is an argument, yes,
Okay. Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
And the function that results from the event listener after the comma, that's an argument of the add event listener function. Yes,
Got it. Okay.
yes, you get it. All right. So
We're right
we've
here.
called change fill. We put in wheel.value as an argument and make sure to put a semicolon at the end of that call. And guess what? It should change the color based on whatever was the wheel value selected.
Wow, dude. So change fill.
Change
That,
fill, that's a very
yeah.
powerful function. It
Yeah.
is going to set the attribute with the fill color.
So but I thought you said I needed to change the
You have to go to
IDs
the HTML. We have to change all of them to the um
to the same thing. And how do we?
keys, all the keys. All right, so let's go down the list of keys, starting from lining.
Yes.
Copy the lining,
Oh, and we're gonna
and
make
then we're
that.
going to put it as the ID of that lining
Wow.
in the
Okay.
HTML.
Yeah, and that's
So let's go to the
okay. So
index.html.
how is that gonna affect this? The
We're gonna delete all of those. We're not gonna need them. We're not gonna need any of them. We put them all into one
okay.
function.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we're playing. We're just like
Wow.
total
Okay.
reconstruction.
Yeah.
This is the ultimate refactoring.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just totally taking over your code.
Yeah, totally. But it was there and it had
hmm
to be there as placement. So
hmm
I'm okay with that. So this right here that I hid, I can delete that because that was the one that we're going to delete now.
Yeah, yeah,
Right. Okay.
exactly. We don't need any of that. Makes our code what? Just a few lines?
Yeah, that's wow.
Just one little SVG, right? That's really all it is, and a couple of buttons. All right.
Here's lining.
Very good.
Um,
So now we'll go to collar.
so and there are a couple of them that had that same ID, which would be good. But
That's
can we
fine.
test? Can we test it with just collar?
Yeah, we can. It might give some errors if
Okay.
yeah, the other one,
32.
32.
Oh yeah, so we're
Yeah,
gonna have
because we're
to
gonna have to just
delete that
clear
all.
all of
Okay,
those. Yeah.
got it. I got you.
So let's go ahead and do the wings. Let's just match them up, make sure.
Okay. 96 was a good year.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I think I did that. That's one of those that I did. Okay, so that ID is there.
Mm-hmm.
Toolbox.
Don't forget the E.
What's up, buddy? Tell mommy I'm gonna do another hour until 11, and you guys can kind of do whatever you want. It's all right.
And it looks like you already have the classes set up with the
Yeah.
same names.
Mm. Yeah, that helped me identify when it came with all of these numbers.
Mm-hmm.
That helped me identify what the heck was going on, really. What
Yeah.
was where it was way too much
Right?
to try to find. I'm gonna do another hour. What am I doing? To cover. Okay. I don't know if I'll have that label. I should. Okay. $95. Woof. And that I remember that is laces. Okay, capital L.
Okay, so it is laces. All right. Okay, so we have all of those set up.
Okay.
And so now you can take all of those
Is it
if
starting at
you
line?
want. Yeah. You have query selectors that have IDs that don't exist, right? So you can put uh just change them to the backtick text. Well, no, because
We're deleting that, right?
I'm sorry.
We're deleting this, aren't we?
No, we're not deleting that query selector. That's the part that we actually change
Okay,
the header, you know. We just
so
need
then,
to change the ID,
okay, cool, got it.
right? To match lining. All the functions are going to be deleted. All the other functions that we had, the call, pink color, call this,
Yes,
all of those are going to be deleted.
okay.
And it's nice because now they all match and they all make sense.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I said now they all match and they make
Yeah,
it makes, you know, when you look at it, you can see what ID we're talking.
yep. Thank you.
Is it cold over there?
Yeah, it gets so hot upstairs, and the kids are upstairs. So I turned the air on, the air off, and down here it gets cold. So
Oh.
they'll be sweating up there, talking about coming down, talking about it's too hot up there. It's like, no, stay up there just for a couple more minutes. My kids are on spring break right now,
Oh, okay.
so they're captured here at the office.
Yeah. Yeah, our spring break's not till next month. In a couple
Yeah, East Coast
couple next
it's usually like in
April.
April, yeah. So line 50, and this is what always gets me, is CSS is different than JavaScript and HTML of the positions. Like the lower you get in the styles, that's the one it uses. And then with this, it's like, it would seem like this should be the other way, right? So this is looking for the text in a .html,
Yeah.
but
What
the
goes
text is
between
up
the
here,
tags?
right? But the text is up here, right? So
Right.
this down here is looking for this up here. So that, for me, it's just
Um, oh yeah,
because,
you really could just use text. You could say category.innerHTML equals text. You could literally just
right? Because
use that variable.
oh, actually, this is looking, no, because this is what the text says, right? Like, why is this here? Because that's what it's going to say.
You're assigning that value to text variable, and because
Got
we're later on going to use the text somewhere else.
Okay, and that's this right
And
here,
yeah, it's in the inner HTML. You
right?
could literally just change all those to say text, right?
To
It
change,
doesn't have, yeah, it doesn't have to
oh,
be,
change this to text.
yeah, just change it
I
to
got
text.
you, because it's going to
Change
say it's looking for that. Yeah,
exactly. It's going to be whatever's the current.
and I think that's it. Okay, I've changed all of the IDs.
Okay, good. And now all of the all the functions below change fill, all those call pink linings and all that. You're
Yes.
not gonna need those.
What?
I don't think yeah, they'll probably scream at you because you still have the CLS1, CLS.
But we don't though.
Yeah.
We changed all of that. There's no CLS
And I'm
anywhere.
saying down below,
Oh,
those functions down there still have CLS references. Okay. Uh, let's just make
okay.
sure. Uh-huh. We can
Do you want
comment it
to just
out,
comment it out? Okay.
but I mean, we're really not gonna need it. The only thing that would keep us from it, well, we're still gonna cover it, but we'll just need to make sure that the attribute is a member of um, query selector.
Okay.
That's the only thing.
And in JavaScript, I mean, yeah, I forget how to, slash, but how do you, it's star,
Slash
slash,
star,
star.
and then star slash at the end. But I'm like 99% sure that attribute will work and be
Okay.
just fine. If not, we'll just change it to get element by ID, but I feel like it should be okay.
Okay, no error.
No
Right now,
error. All right, let's click on an area and change the color. All right, we don't see a color of the heel change.
No, not of the heel. So let's, yeah. That was the heel. Let's do
Yeah.
let's do the collar. Let's no. Okay.
Okay, so it's not changing the color, set attribute. Can you go ahead and go out to the replet and check the dev tools? See if there's any errors coming up.
Okay.
Failed to load reset.
Okay.
Fill is not defined. Did you see that?
Yes. So it's not defined. 125.
Oh, it needs to be in quotes.
Because
Not the
that's
color, just the fill. Color
of,
is the variable. Fill is the actual word for the set attribute.
okay.
So, okay. Try again.
Oh,
Yay! So we
nice.
just effectively changed it to the color you selected.
Woo!
Is that nice?
Wow. Yes.
Okay. Now all that stuff you just commented out, we can just you
That is
see how it's changing?
insane.
It is changing as you are like going around figuring
Yeah,
out which color you want.
that is
Isn't that
amazing.
pretty?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
beautiful, right?
Yes. Wait, I didn't even try anything else. Why didn't I try anything else?
I don't know.
Ask me that, huh?
Yeah, you see that? That looks great. I
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
fantastic.
Yeah,
So
that
my
looks
my
really
my
good.
thing is always, it's always the soul. The soul is always the secret. That's fantastic. Actually, let's see. So I wonder, well, I'm not even gonna ask that question right now. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, you like that? Okay.
Yes,
Good. Awesome. I'm so glad we spent the extra time to get that
yes,
done.
me too. Thank you.
Yeah. So wow, we got rid of a lot of code.
Wow,
Isn't
yes,
that nice?
indeed.
In the one function with a so we use this time in our function we used a parameter. So that's one of the things that I kind of wanted to show you how to use um,
Yeah, that's
input
fantastic.
variables. So that was a good demonstration of using parameters in your functions. And
Goodness.
now we have learned about string interpolation
Yes.
versus string concatenation.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Um, yeah, a lot of great stuff going on.
That's fantastic. So, okay, let me just, we're pretty much there with the colors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now let's look at our results. Like after all our selections and things are done, I want to see like what does our lineup look like?
Mm-hmm.
Our color lineup or our kicks. What does our
Yeah.
kick look like? You know, I think that's what we
Yeah.
ultimately want to get to is
Am I
the
going to be
entire.
able to, so after someone uploads this stuff, how can I see the hex code? How
That's
can
what we're about to do.
Oh,
We're
you
gonna.
didn't just say
That's
that.
what full kicks is all about. Full kicks is gonna give you the full skinny on the whole kick that
Wow.
they've made. Yeah, I
Wow.
wasn't sure whether to go ahead and do that with you in the beginning, but this
Right.
is the encapsulation of the entire kick schema.
Wow. That's
All
right.
right.
That's right.
So
Okay.
we're doing all these changes now, but
Yeah.
once a person finishes all the changes that they want to make to their kick, it's
Hmm.
housed inside of Full Kicks.
Wow.
Okay, Full Kicks
Wow.
has all that information.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and then you can just save it to a file, and boom, you have it.
Wow. Okay. Let's get it. Whatever we can do in the next 30 minutes.
Yeah, you want to try to? Okay, let's create a save button.
Okay.
And we can do that in the index. Very good. And we can put it under the SVG, or we can put it right underneath the,
Yeah. For now, let's
um,
just put it because the next lesson is going to be about the styles. Is about how we want it to kind of look on the page.
okay, so let's go ahead and go to line 1000 and put it under the section. We can put it in its own div. Um, and put a save button. Let's give it an ID of save. Okay, we can style it later.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Um,
Don't animal.
but yeah, let's go ahead and connect the HTML to the script using that ID.
Um,
So where we have our variables, we can put one there, 26, one anywhere over there before,
okay. Okay.
anywhere around there, line 24, 26, 28. Fine. So we can just create a save equals document.query selector with an ID of save. in quotes. Yeah, we didn't have the quotes around that fill.
Yeah.
Trying to figure that one out. Yeah, but yeah.
Okay, so we're going to get that here. Okay.
All right. So now we have the save, right? Now we need to activate it. So we need to do an event listener that listens out for a click.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we could do that one. Anywhere.
Listener. Okay.
Yeah, anywhere with the event listeners.
So give me, where are you? Save. Okay.
No, we can put the event listener with the other event listeners. I don't know. It's up to you. You can put
Okay.
it right after line 32, to
Okay.
be honest. Um, yeah, so let's just do a save.add event listener. And you see how our kind of where I'm going with that as far as sectioning our document off a little bit, where we have our variable declarations and we have our event listeners and functions,
Yes.
kind of keeping them
So
in the
should I
same
put,
areas. You know what I
so
mean?
on my own time, should I put all the variables under
Yeah,
variable?
that would be
Okay.
good. That would make it more consistent, more structured.
Okay. So as a beginner moving into intermediate
Mhm.
level,
Mhm.
um, what this does for me is this teaches me, because this is together, meaning this function is together. So it's like, okay, we have the variable, we have the event listener, and it's
Mhm.
calling, so with me, so if it was, let's say if it was up here, I would have to go find collar, event listener,
I see what
you
you're
know.
saying. Yeah.
So just for the beginning, just for, my level,
Mhm.
I can learn a little easier that way.
Mhm. Okay.
Um, so we're
Yeah.
clicking.
With JavaScript, not so much a big deal, but in other languages like Java and Python, we do have variable declaration sections. Sometimes it's even in its own file as
Ooh,
a module. So that's why when we begin to compartmentalize our various, you know,
I'm gonna no, I'm
parts
gonna
of the code,
the next time
we
we meet, I'm
it's a
probably gonna have
system.
it. Yeah, I'll have it the way you're suggesting, because that's how it's gonna be, you know.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely change that.
Okay.
Uh,
All right. So we listen out for a click on the save, and what do we do? We can create a function, a save function. Um, so we can create a save function. You can just say save,
oh,
save kick, something like that.
uh,
Actually, right there after the comma, just say save kick, and it will create a function below. That that we're referencing save kick, right? So what happens in the process of saving the kick? Um, what happens in the process of saving the kick?
what it does is it stores all of the um, hex codes. Well, it would store the hex code and the um, text, because you would need to know, I guess. Well, it would store, because I'm getting there. It would store the full kicks and the
There you
hex
go.
code, or
Hmm.
yeah, it would actually would store kicks, the variable kicks,
Full
right?
kick, yeah, but you can call full kicks,
Full kicks
right?
too, right?
At
Yeah,
this point, you can call full kicks from kicks. You can say
yes.
kicks, full kicks, and assign it. Is returning a string, right? Full kicks is returning a string. So you
Yeah.
just assign it to a blob and save it as a file.
Okay.
That's what basically what we're gonna do when we save it. We're gonna create an element. We're gonna create a blob element, and it's gonna be the calling of full kick,
Okay.
and that blob is gonna get um, attached to a document. You can give it whatever name you want, and that then you're able to save it to whatever file location you want on your local drive.
Okay. So
Okay, does that make
within
sense?
that, yes.
But at
So
first, we'll take
yeah.
some baby steps. At
Yeah.
first, let's just display it to the console. How about
Okay.
that? So we
Yeah.
just do the whole um function save kicks, open close parentheses, and then we'll go on the other side of the parentheses. We don't need any input, right? Because we already have the kick
All of that. Hmm.
defined, right? So that we don't need any input. So we'll open up the curly brace, and after the close parentheses. No, you still need the open and close parentheses, and then the open curly brace after the open and close parentheses,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So go ahead and move yeah, there we go. Okay, and hit enter after that. Okay, so now here in the function save kicks, all we're gonna do is just do a console.log for right now and do kicks dot full kick. So we just want to see the whole full kick at the time after you've made all your changes and stuff, right? You've
Yes.
made all your color changes, you made it pretty, the colors you want for all the different various sections. And if you didn't change it, it's going to be the default, right? So we're going to get to see all of that happening.
Save that
I
event.
think we need a capital L listener. Add event listener needs an L in there. Yeah. Okay. Um, so then, yeah, so let's do that.
Okay. And then full kicks. Okay. I was wondering where.
Now, how do we call full kick? Remember, we say
Yeah.
kicks
That's what I
dot
was just
full
thinking.
kicks. We
Totally.
need open and close parentheses because it is a function.
Okay.
Or do you remember that?
A little
Whenever
bit.
we're calling a function, in order to indicate to JavaScript or most programming language, you say open and close parentheses, indicating that it's a function.
Function. Okay.
So go ahead and insert that right there where your cursor is, open and
Yeah.
close parentheses. All right, so that's our proper function call, and it returns what does it return?
It returns full kicks.
A string, yeah.
A
That's a
string.
full kick,
Okay.
a string. All right, let's test it. Let's run it, test it. Make sure our save button is working after we designed our kick. Okay. Beautiful. Boom. All right. Look at the toe cover.
The lining.
It is
Oh,
hashtag
and it gives all of
97121.
the other ones too. It gives the ones
Yeah,
that,
it lets
yeah.
you know. Yeah, if you didn't change anything, it's gonna be the default 000. Yeah,
Wow.
that's the whole
Okay.
thing.
That's amazing.
The whole kick,
Yes.
the full
That's
kick.
amazing, dude. That is amazing. Yes.
Yeah.
So just another quick explanation is how if you're uploading that to an external file. I think you said we're gonna
Mhm.
have a bunch of different ways to do it. Okay.
Mhm.
Um, but let's say one way is uploading it into an external file. When they get me the file, where would this be?
It's going to be in the file.
It's going to be in the file. Really? Okay.
Yeah. So twofold. Two things happen in the save process that we're going to add to this feature. Is the ability to store it in the local drive for the user and upload it to the server or wherever you have it.
Got it. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes. Yes. So I'm trying to like hold my excitement. I just want you to.
Awesome.
You so
So
unappropriated. Goodness. Be like, you know.
yeah,
So
so the very next thing that we want to do, I think 20 minutes may be enough time to go ahead and implement it.
okay.
Let's see how far we get. So we have this. Okay, let's do this. Let's not do too many things at one time. I
Yes,
think we've
I
done a
agree.
lot of great
I
things.
agree.
Let's clean
Yes.
up some things
Okay.
as far as your ideal um, uh, colors that you want to show off at first. So let's clean up those hex codes that you want as default in the style.css.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. And we'll do it pretty simple. And I can actually really get it from here, you know?
You can, yeah.
um,
Or you already have it there in your page, right?
yeah, on the
The AI.
Illustrator. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
What I was trying to do just now is trying to utilize, what we just did. So,
Okay. Yeah, you can do that.
okay, the lining it'll stay black. It's the collar.
We'll go to styles. Actually, it's gonna be in style.css. We don't really need to change it here in the kick.
Oh,
We can. You can.
no, I
Go
thought
ahead
I
and
thought
go
that
ahead.
I
We
thought
can do it in both spots. How about that? We'll do it in both places.
okay. I thought that's where
But no, it's not
default
gonna
was.
affect it immediately, like in the SVG. It's
Okay,
gonna
so let's do it
be
with the styles. I'm all about visuals. Let's do it with the styles.
okay. Yeah.
Oh, another question.
We're
This right
gonna have
here.
to do it in both places if you want that
Okay.
to be the default
Okay.
for
So
the
then,
output for the
okay.
save, right? So either way, we're gonna have to put it in both places if you want it to
Okay.
show up as a default. If they don't change it, then that's the default. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So toolbox. Toolbox is okay. So with the styles, I don't need this CLS1 or anything because it's not there anymore.
Okay.
In the styles.
In the style.css, yes, you had a specific
Yes, because
fill.
this is called the actual name of the section of the category
Mm-hmm.
right now. So
Yeah.
CLS 5 would be, right now it's named laces, or CL6. I
Right.
believe.
Right. So all those, yeah, if you want to change it to the default, you can put that.
Am I deleting this?
No, you're replacing the dot CLS-1 with the actual ID name. If
Oh,
you want to change the fill color
okay. So that's
to
the
the
default,
default,
right?
right? You want
Okay,
to change
let's try it because it didn't, it wasn't. Yeah, I get it.
because
It
right
wasn't working.
now, of course, it's not registering because you changed all the IDs. So it was just kind of like a
This was
field that wasn't doing anything,
it
right?
wasn't.
Because you don't have any class CLS-1 anymore.
I don't, and I don't. I wouldn't remember where it is because we
Right.
don't have it anymore.
Yeah.
Okay,
So we can change it to be toe cover, collar, wings, all
I
those
got you.
different IDs,
Okay.
so that we have a fill color there. But what is your background? Oh, your SVG colors now. Is it showing up there in
Um,
the HTML?
the colors. No, it's all black. You talking about the sneaker?
Right. Mm-hmm.
The sneaker is just black. It's just it's there is a default somewhere, right? Is what you're asking?
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay. Let's see. CLS was
So beyond those,
CLS 80.
okay, SVG. No, go down to the SVG one in the style. I think that no. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know where the default black is. I think it just does that automatically,
I
right?
think it does that automatically. Yeah. So here, let's
Yeah.
let's test it.
Yeah, I think it is automatic.
And it's
Yeah,
still
this
black.
is automatically black.
Yeah. Well, this right here actually. Let's see. What did I do? So that, yeah, that doesn't have any of the stitching or anything. Yeah, and when I just clicked it, it is not working. Why is that? Just from the styles?
Yeah, because those are the fill colors.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Um,
Um,
that's why it didn't work.
why?
Oh,
Because you
there's
didn't select it?
no, because I couldn't, because I didn't have the toe cover and the wheel, the color wheel. So I touched it, but you can touch it. You're just touching it to select it. I thought I was touching it to change the color.
Uh,
Um, yeah, so everything is black, even the stitching,
mm-hmm.
um, which is fine. So so and then the stitching, the wings aren't any color. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. So let's change it to the to what we were doing. That's fine.
You
And
want to make
eventually,
it the default colors like you have in your AI?
yes, yes.
Okay.
So it's okay that we took all of those colors out.
Yeah, we're gonna have to put in the actual
Got it.
ID.
Okay.
We have to put the toe cover, wings, sole, bottom sole. Yeah, just basically all of those.
hmm
Okay. So I would just go between the name and the colon, and put an open curly brace. Yeah, and then put not there, but between the name and the colon.
Okay.
No, but no, not there. You want it to be hashtag, but between the G and the colon. Here you go. Yeah, right there. I would just put opening curly brace, hit enter, and yeah, kind of move that in there to
Okay.
put. You could put
Uh,
the hashtag with the text code.
and would it say fill? What would it?
Yeah, it would still be fill,
Okay.
just like it was before.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just rushing. That's why I'm.
Okay. I mean,
Okay.
if you want, you can just copy lines 2 and 3 and kind of do a paste and just change the names
Yeah.
as you go. That might be a little bit faster.
Zero. Um, uh-oh, let's see. No, did I cut and paste that? All right. Okay, so we're collar, liner collar, lining collar, wings. And the wings is 0. All right. Toolbox.
I'll take out one of the hashtags. Yeah, replace the toolbox. I think that's the right.
Yeah, I'm all crazy. All right. Lining, wings, toolbox, midsole, bottom sole, toe cover, and then quarters. Is that quarters? It was quarter.
Mm-hmm.
We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. I'll set that in a second. Okay.
Okay. Ooh.
I know, right? So I did the wrong colors on some of them. Before. Yeah, that kind of looks cool.
That
So,
is. That does look kind of cool. Okay.
all right, let's see. So that's the toe cover. Yeah, see, the toe cover is supposed to be black. Let me just make sure. So yeah, so the blacks are whites except for this, except for the tongue. So for some reason, all of the blacks are whites except for the tongue.
Oh.
Um,
And that's not supposed to happen, huh?
no. Only because it says it here. See all of these blacks. There's nothing that's filled. The blacks aren't filled.
I'm missing some numbers because it's six digits.
Let's see.
Maybe add a couple of zeros. That might fix it.
Yep, that's exactly it.
Mm-hmm.
Goodness.
That was just a guess. I was like, I think the only difference is the couple number difference. Yeah.
Yeah. There it
All
is. Look
right.
at that.
Okay. That looks good.
It does. It really does.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So
Okay.
Thursday, yeah, talk to me.
Yeah. That's no. Go ahead.
Um, Thursday we'll definitely finish, the save, of course.
Mhm.
We'll do that, and then we'll do the styles of see, what I can do desktop wise, what I can do mobile. Mobile kind of scares me a little bit because everything is so small. The color wheel is gonna save me, it'll save us, because then you can kind of, I think, I don't know, but it's the clicking. My thing will be it's the clicking of the section. And maybe not, if I think about it now, right? If the entire phone, right, size of the phone is the sneaker, then maybe you can click on each category, each
Yeah.
area.
You just tap on the section
Yeah.
that you want.
So this is fantastic. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Learning so much so quickly.
It's a
And this,
lot, right?
it is.
You
It
learned
really
you learned
is.
a lot of great
Yeah.
concepts that I like to, teach all my students as far as string interpolation,
Yeah.
linking the HTML to JavaScript, utilizing object-oriented type programming. Yeah. So you've done a lot of great work.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And it helps visually for me. It helps when I can see, what happens. So I'll give you a great example. So when we do the console
Yeah.
.log, let's see which one.
We got line 43.
Is line 43? Okay.
Yeah, we have one.
Yeah. No, it
And
wasn't.
then when you hit save, you'll see it in the console.log as
well. Oh, thank you. Yeah, like stuff like this, that's great. And I only get it now because of what we're doing, the more that we're doing. But if we didn't have this visual here, and this going on, and we're in class and you're saying, hey, that's great. I'd say, okay, I get it, but I don't know how to incorporate it. I don't know how that would be incorporated unless you give me an example,
Right.
because sometimes with the learning, you'll say, hey, we're going to do this, and you wouldn't say anything about like changing the color. You would talk more about the functionality and the things that you can do. But seeing it on here, it helps me so much.
Yeah.
So this is fantastic. And I love this now. I'm going to go into the input and see.
Look at the big
Yeah.
difference. We had all these circle thingies, all these divs all
Yes.
over the place, all these
Yes.
functions. And so now we just
Yes.
one function that kind of encapsulates the
Yeah.
changing. Yeah,
And
I
I
think
need to
really
review that.
good.
I'm going to review that tonight, and and tomorrow, and
Okay.
I'll have more questions for you, like today, like why do we have let, and you're like, oh, it's local. Oh, okay, that's right, it was local. So
Mhm.
yeah, so we're moving
Yeah,
on.
so yeah, that's another thing when we talk about scoping functions or variables, those variables have a scope and, you know,
Yeah.
and what you're using them for can
Yeah.
determine whether you use let, const, or var. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. Well, thank you. Well, enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you on Thursday.
Okay. See you Thursday.
Excellent. Okay.
All righty.